What is going on, everyone? I'm Mike Singer. He's Tim Hyde. We're live on this week's Notre Dame football show. Hope everyone is doing well this week. We already got a super chat to start the show. I appreciate that, Andrew. We'll get to that in just a second.
Oh, wow.
Tim, how you doing, my friend? What's new in your world, man?
Are you kidding me, Mike? I am so hyped for this show. Finally, we are, why talk about football, right? Why talk about a week into camp? Why talk about all this stuff, Mike? Let's focus on the barbecue meal. Make sure we get the good meals. Let's focus on jersey colors,
Tim,
Under Armour gold pants. Are they getting the gold pants right, Mike? Let's focus on that.
This is how we're starting the show with Tim trolling. That's what we're starting the show with.
And then the Mike Singer and Tim Hyde favorite question of all time.
Don't spoil the show.
Is the NBC announcers, Mike.
All right, you just spoiled the show.
I am so hyped.
All right, well, at least don't say who our special guest is, because
no, I'm not saying anything.
Well, you just
But no. I was as I was coming on over to get ready for the show. I mean, you and I joke all the time because we always get those questions about NBC announcing a Paro deal, and we're like, we just want to talk football. So,
well, Tim, guess what we're gonna talk?
Exactly.
So, listen, we're the Notre Dame football show. We will react to the news.
We always do that. I love it.
So, and I have some thoughts on some of the news. It might be popular. I don't think it will be, though. I don't think your takes are popular either.
I love it.
But yeah, that's just kind of par for the course. With the Notre Dame football show and Pod Like a Champion. If you're listening via podcast, appreciate you all as well. Yeah, folks, please do hit the thumbs up on the channel, of course, and subscribe to our channel. Oh, that's not the right prompt. This is it. Yeah, subscribe to our channel for more content. Tim, we got a super chat from Andrew.
What do we got here?
Get this real quick. This is an interesting one. He says, Tim, Athlon Sports put out an article where an anonymous P5 coach said Hartman has the most pressure of any college football player. Do you agree?
Wow. I've not thought 12 seconds of this question. That's a great, the most pressure. Well, I mean, if you look at it like, the two quarterbacks that, won 9 games, won a bowl game, got Marcus Freeman through his first season of ever being a head football coach. He kind of fired those guys, if you want to use that term. You bring in a 6-year, 1-year rental, a 12-game rental maybe. Does Hartman play the bowl game? Who knows? The expectations are sky high because he came to Notre Dame to boost his draft stock, if you want to say that. Got a first-time offensive coordinator, coming in with Parker, so you got to use the Hartman experience. Wow, that's a great question. I mean, we're still talking wide receivers or young. Who's going to be the go-to guy? That little 60-second TikTok we did is blowing up on the message board. It's absolutely amazing, the conversation that started. So, man, the most pressure. Interesting.
Andrew says,
that's a great question.
Yeah, Andrew adds, he said because they don't want to because they want to make a playoff and don't have returning guaranteed wide receivers.
No, it's a great question. Is it in an article or just something they?
Yeah, he said Athlon.
Okay. Yeah, I have to find the article and read what they're, what they're chatting about. But pressure, I mean, there's tons of pressure all over college football. But for Notre Dame, obviously coming off, we always go back to those 2 losses they had, those hard 2 losses, but then they had great wins last year. It feels like this. This is going back to Mike Singer 6-7 months ago when you said the feel in South Bend.
Still is, dude.
Exactly. Was they think this is a playoff team. They think this is a loaded roster. We're going to find out that towards the end of September. Is that true or not? So, but I would say, let's go. He's definitely in the top 3. I would say he's in the top 3 of most pressurized players this year.
All right, Tim, I really meant to say this before we started streaming, and I should have. But your look, like right now, with your darker background, when you lean forward, it looks like you're in a cave and you just have light on your face.
Yeah, I got the lights. I don't know what.
Can you show us the boat background? Because I feel like when we could see the full.
I'm literally on the boat. So I guess I got to get a light above me. So lean back.
I feel like we used to see. I think that's your right shoulder, like that angle. Yeah, that we used to see more that way. Like you had the camera shifted where you could see the curtain.
I told you, I always blame the mother-in-law. Blame the mother-in-law. She got
I
stuff.
feel like the lighting was better when we could see that. Is my
All right,
point.
all right. So I'll have to adjust that. I'll have to adjust that.
All right, how about you do it just right now, because I'm curious. Okay, and while Tim fixes his lighting situation, we will actually hear from our friends over at My Perfect Franchise. This is it's a grade A show we do here, folks. Very prepared, very professional. Actually, sorry, Tim, hit the wrong button there. Oh, folks, hope you all are doing well, and if you want to even have a better day. Maybe you're a displaced corporate executive. Maybe you want to put your career in your own hands. You can head over to myperfectfranchise.net. Andy Ludicky can help you out. He's a huge college sports fan and a franchise veteran, having owned multiple franchises and businesses. Using Andy's expertise, he helps others find their American dream through a very thorough consultation and evaluation process. Call Andy at 404-973-9901 and put your life and career in your own hands. And best of all, folks, his services are 100% free to you. So what do you have to lose? Find your perfect franchise at myperfectfranchise.net. All right, let's go back to Tim. Let's see how it's looking. Tim, you're muted. It looks even darker than normal. Tim, you're still muted, my friend. Got to get you. Tim, I can't hear you, buddy.
Jeez, it'd be nice if I had muted.
Hey, it's usually me who mutes.
Exactly.
So
look at that. You got a little. There's the boat light. There's the boathouse in the back. So we're good. We're good.
Yeah, it does look a little bit better. Okay. So let's look at the show outline here. The green jerseys, Tim. Like you said, we just want to talk ball, right?
I know.
But, and folks, if you're watching, please comment and let us know if you're watching live, watching back, whatever it is. Let us know what you think about these. They're lighter than green jerseys we've seen in the past, but these look sharp, dude. What do you? I mean, put on your fashion hat, Tim. Do you like these?
Yeah, yes, yeah. I liked them when they came out. I like green. I'll be honest, and if Mr. Mike Goolsby's listening, he knows what I'm going to say. The first thing I thought about is the 0-2 Notre Dame Boston College game. So looks like that same shade of green.
Yeah.
Mike will know better than me on that, but no, I like it. I mean, didn't they announce this 6 months ago? This was going to be the green out game. That I kind of like that. With Freeman did it with Cal last year. Obviously, this year he wants to pick one game. Everyone wears green. Picks the Ohio State game this year. Get all hyped up. A little night game there. So I thought they looked sharp. I like the green on green. I know, Twitter or X or whatever the heck it's called nowadays. Can't say tweet, right? It's a post. So it's fascinating. I like it. It looks sharp. It looks sharp.
All right. I said it looks lighter, but now that I'm looking at last year's, I guess just they look the same. Maybe just the difference.
What's the lettering?
Is the numbers are in the
a little lighter. Looks a little lighter.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know. I like the green on the green, and I like the white. I think it looks sick.
Yeah, I like the white.
But is there anything in you, Tim, that says, "Ooh, you're wearing the green jerseys for the Ohio State game"? Because that was my first thought too. It's like, man, why don't you wear those against Tennessee State or Central Michigan or whatever Michigan it is Notre Dame plays? Like Ohio State.
Hey, it's Notre Dame. I mean, accept the challenge, right? Accept the challenge. That's the way I look at it. I mean, you're playing one of the premier football programs in the country. Yeah, accept the challenge. We're going to wear green. Let's go at it. This is our hype game. 1,000 recruits are going to be in. You're going to be up all night for a week straight trying to write about all that stuff. Enjoy that, Mike. Yeah. And then it's going to be, hey, it's the big game. It's the big game. I've been talking about this thing since the season ends. People are like, oh, take it one game at a time, of course. Coach speak, all that stuff. The way this schedule sets up, Notre Dame should be 4-0. Ohio State's undefeated. They're both going to be top 10. I mean, Notre Dame undefeated should easily be in the top 10. I would say they're probably going to be preseason top 10 or 12. So it's going to be a massive game. I bet you 15 plus million people are going to be watching this thing. So let's get hyped up and wear the green. I'm excited.
You mentioned the recruiting weekend. I really can't find a recruit who's like Notre Dame's after that doesn't say they're going to the game or at least hoping to. I mean, it seriously is going to be the biggest single recruiting day in terms of visits for Notre Dame in the 4+ years that I've been on this beat. So
Oh, even last year was somewhat of a little disappointment, correct? Because they didn't get as many. Maybe the underclassmen were. I'm talking about the Clemson game. It was big, but it seemed like some didn't make it in, if I remember right. This one, like you're saying, everyone you talk to
yeah,
talks coming in for that
I don't
Ohio
know.
State.
Well, that one was in November, so it
Yeah,
would have been a little bit later in the cycle. So maybe you're going to be able to get some 2024s if there's still more uncommitted guys that they're starting to go after. I don't know.
yeah. It's
I
got to be
I
big.
can't remember the visitor list for the Clemson game last year off the top of my head, but
Yeah. No, I hear you. I just remember. I think you'd even talked about it from her. Yeah, I'm looking at the 2002 game against BC. Green. This one looks a little lighter green, but they had the white numbers like they did.
there you go. Okay. Next up, Tim, 10-year Under Armour extension for Notre Dame. I mean, we had a comment here a minute ago from someone who said, real quick. I'm glad Notre Dame re-signed with Under Armour. I always love their stuff. That's Holtz my beer with the comments. I mean, Tim, I think me and you're in the same boat. We don't really care. Some people will swear by Nike or Adidas or swear that Under Armour is just the absolute worst. I just don't care.
I got a
Not really my cup of tea. I don't really have. See, there you go.
Under Armour polo
I don't know
tonight.
what I'm
So
wearing.
got my blue one on.
But here's a really interesting thing is, according to Yahoo's Ross Dellinger, Notre Dame and Under Armour have agreed to a 10-year contract, locking in what is a historic agreement. It's also, quote unquote, expected to be the most lucrative deal in college athletics history, coming in at over $10 million a year. Which, with that in mind, Tim, I thought it was a good opportunity for me to reshare something that Mike Goolsby had said, which I am trying to find it real quick so I can play it on stream. Yeah, I think the audio will come through. So let me play this real quick. This is the voice of our Mike Goolsby. Okay, never mind. I guess you guys can't hear it. Could you hear it, Tim? Okay. All right. Well, so glad I asked. All right. Well, never mind.
I put myself on mute and I was like, then I unmuted, like, oh, maybe I can.
Well, I'm glad I asked chat.
There you go. We hear you drinking.
Okay. Well, sorry about that, guys. That was just 30 seconds of dead audio. But Goolsby basically says Under Armour needs to do more for Notre Dame. We're the belle of the ball. They need to do something special for us. So you hope with this Under Armour deal now that it's just maybe a renewed sense of energy or something that Under Armour wants to do more for Notre Dame. I mean, Tim, you just see all of the time Freeman is just wearing fire Under Armour gear all the time. And what does everyone always say, Tim, on Twitter and stuff? Where can I buy that?
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't buy it. I want it so bad. And there's always really sick stuff, but like, just can't get it. So just Under Armour they just need to do something. If people want to, swear that the cleats are getting Notre Dame players hurt or whatever. Like, I don't know, but I'll let other people debate that. But I agree with Goolsby that Under Armour does need to do more for Notre Dame.
Oh, I agree. Especially I read in the new contract is they're getting the upfront money every single year. They're getting a percentage of sales. All right, so if you're going to have a percentage of sales, sell everything we see at practice all the time, for crying out loud. People will buy that up like crazy. The hoodies, there's so much stuff. It's like you go to Ham's bookstore online, the Notre Dame bookstore, and you can't even find half the stuff. It's just small little thing. Fanatics only has a couple small Under Armour section. You're right. It's like loaded up, for crying out loud. Just make it, sell it, and it's just more money. So hopefully they I would say wise up and do a little better job of selling the actual gear players wear. Not all of it, because some of it's exclusive for players. And it's part of the deal. I get all that stuff. But there's a lot of things the coaches wear, the polos and things of that nature would be a hot item.
Yeah.
And I guess, the jerseys come out this week. How in the world did you not have those things ready to order?
Yeah.
I mean, how many could they have sold in the first 24 hours? Notre Dame fans love that stuff. So it's a good deal. It's a money deal. The way you look at it, people may want Nike, whatever. I don't know. I've been around programs that all we wear is Under Armour, and it's unbelievable gear.
Yeah.
Coaches gear, players gear. The uniforms are unbelievable. They last. They're so comfortable. Players love them that I've been around. So it's good stuff. And then on top of that, obviously they're getting a big check. So it's all about money. You can say what you want, but it is a big pool of money that Notre Dame is collecting because of why? What's the main reason? They're independent. So they're independent and they need a big pool of money so they don't have to join a conference. So you add all those things up. Money, they get ACC money every year, the new contract, the TV that's going to come. So it's all good. We go from there. Like right here, Nathan says we need the Freeman wear. Exactly. There's so many things coaches wear that Notre Dame fans will buy in 12 seconds.
Yeah. All right, Tim, I'm going to give this a shot. Can you just give me a thumbs up if it actually works?
Sure.
Okay.
Under Armour needs to do something where, Jordan Brand is its own standalone brand, but it's affiliated with Nike, where Under Armour has to do more for Notre Dame. Because, we are the belle of the ball in terms of who's in their, I guess, college athletic portfolio, where it's like we come out with a cool cleat or something like that. And I always go back to like USC. I don't know if they're famous for it, Mike, but like USC wears a black cleat with white laces. It's like USC's thing. Like, can Under Armour create something for a Notre Dame? If we're going to get stuck with Under Armour again, I would really push them to develop something proprietary, something cool for us to kind of hang our hat on. That's just a random thought, because it's disappointing to hear that you're going to get stuck with Under Armour again. Under Armour needs to do something.
Yeah, so that was pretty good stuff from Goolsby, and glad that I could actually get that working. Hey, Juicy J, member of the Blue and Gold message board, says, "Hey, buddy, that gear is going to look a lot better on Freeman than on dudes like you and me." Well, I think everything looks better on Freeman than me. He could wear a 3X, sweatsuit, and it'll obviously look a lot better on him. But point taken for sure, and good to see you in here, my friend. Okay. Tim, so we've talked jerseys, we've talked Under Armour, and now to put it all together, the perfect trifecta of things that people really care about. And Tim and I, it's not that we don't care, it's just we don't really get it as much, maybe. And that is the announcers. Tim and I just don't, it's not a big deal to us. If it is to you and it's something you're passionate about, totally understand it. But for us, we don't really care. NBC announces broadcast crew for 2023 games, and it is Jack Collinsworth and Jason Garrett for the second straight season. You want to know what my read on this is, Tim? You want to know?
Yes.
This is my takeaway. Guess Jason Garrett couldn't find anything else to do.
Oh.
He couldn't get back into coaching, or he couldn't find what he wanted to do. Because I think this is probably not what he wanted to do. So when we're listening to a game and Notre Dame wins or loses, and people get on the chat and our shows and they want to talk about the broadcast crew, that's when I don't like. Let's talk about the game. Why do we care about the announcers? How bad Garrett was? Like, that's when I don't care. But I think right now to discuss it is when I actually will care, because for what I just said, like, it's usually these Notre Dame games are just like a tryout for getting to the Sunday Night Football NFL games, and I don't like that. I do wish NBC would just throw a boatload of money at like a Brady Quinn and just get a Notre Dame guy. I mean, Drew Brees it was Brees to Dungy. Dungy was great, but Brees, I think it was Brees. No, maybe it was Dungy to Brees to Garrett. I can't remember. You guys can let us know. But
yeah, there's people that follow that stuff.
Andrew says he had 3 interviews with Stanford, didn't work out, so he's back in Notre Dame. So it's fine, but I just wish I just wish it was just straight Notre Dame guys in the booth.
Well, yeah, and that's a great point about Brady Quinn or
Collinsworth is Notre Dame alum, I should say, but
yeah, exactly, he's an Indy alum, so maybe when SC comes and it's the Big Ten and so much stuff changes in that conference on television, maybe they, they're going to have Notre Dame obviously locked into 6-7 games, whatever it is, so 7. When you look at it, so maybe they have a dedicated, a different group. Who knows? Especially down the road where Notre Dame's going to start playing some more Big Ten teams in a non-conference. So maybe that will change. But yeah, man, I'm telling you, Mike, I've been watching some of the games from last year. Just rewatch late at night. Haven't been able to sleep good. Just been doing a ton of football, rewatching, doing some X and O's off of last year's games, and I listen to them. I don't sit there and break down the play-by-play, I guess. I just never have. Outside of John Madden, but that's when I was young, and Madden was awesome. And you just got engulfed in the John Madden doing NFL football games. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm not a big Collinsworth guy, maybe because his dad or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm jaded by that, right, with the Collinsworth name. But yeah, it's fine. I mean, Garrett did do some X and O's. Like the Clemson game, I watched a handful of times, and him breaking down plays.
That's all I care about.
Yeah, it was solid, but I mean, Mike, it is amazing. I mean, we're going to get it after the Navy game. There's going to be announcing questions, and why didn't these freshmen play? That's always number one, waiting in the queue before we start our show. So,
if there was a way that we could stream the Notre Dame game on our YouTube channel and that would be amazing, but
go play by play.
Unfortunately, our channel would get taken down in a heartbeat. But this is guys, this is just a very subjective thing. Tirico and Dungy were fantastic. Dungy was terrible. Those are back-to-back comments in the span of 10 seconds. So I mean, it just is what it is. Again,
and Tirico's a pro, and he's doing this. And the Sunday night game is the the big enchilada for NBC. Yeah. The amount that people watch that thing. So he's spending all week getting ready for that thing. He doesn't have time for Notre Dame.
I bet our chat would say I'd rather have Tim Hyde on there. But let's just be honest. Jason Garrett's resume is just a little bit better than Tim Hyde's.
Yeah, I mean,
as good as you expect. But again, I do wish it was a Notre Dame guy. That's where I go back to.
Yeah, and you're right. That's Collinsworth, and obviously Brady Quinn's constantly out there. Maybe he gets bought out and brought over when the Big Ten, changes anew here in 2024. So, heck, who knows what's going on in the Big Ten? There's so many rumors out there. It's like
Big Ten was on NBC this year.
Maybe, yeah, this year. I'm talking about when SC comes aboard next year. I think it's 2024 when SC, UCLA come in. Now there's talks of Clemson, Florida State. I'm like, I can't even. Yeah, I mean, a few things. People in the chat probably read the news. I haven't followed the news. I've been busy all night, but it's nuts what's happening out there. It's literally going to these 2 mega conferences of 20 teams each. It's going there.
And there's Notre Dame, just chilling,
chilling.
Ball. Notre Dame can do what they want. I got asked the other day by a friend, or I can't remember. Maybe it was on a show or something about. No, it was actually Trey. Trey at the end of our Friday show was like, "Do you think Notre Dame's going to join a conference and by the end of the decade?" And I was like, "I honestly have no idea. I don't know." Juicy J says, "How about a live stream companion with the blue and gold crew?" I don't know. Do you mean like
you get Orca?
We stream like during the game. I've seen different outlets do that where they stream
and just talk.
But that's just so clunky now. I feel like we were doing this 10 years ago before all the streaming, where everyone was on the same thing. But now some people are watching on NBC. I personally, I don't have true cable anymore. I've got all the in-laws logins for all the apps on my Roku's, and I have like Peacock and stuff. So I'm like 2.5 minutes behind on Peacock all the time. So
that's slow.
Yeah, so I would love to do that, but we will do the post-game live shows.
Yeah, me personally, I couldn't sit there and watch a play and sit there and try and talk as it's going. If it's 3rd and 2, like the ESC, they run the jet sweep. It's like, what are you doing? I would lose my mind a few times.
I feel like the only sport you could do that in is that I think it wouldn't be clunky as soccer, because how the clock goes up and it doesn't stop. So you could just pause the show to then have it match your TV. But otherwise, I feel like it wouldn't work. But all right, we're going to get in some real football talk here in just a moment. Hey, Juicy J, really do appreciate the super chat, though. Get you a TV, Melanie. I do have a TV. I just don't have I haven't had cable in a long time. But yeah, Tim, I'll let you get a sip of water there in the boat, and we'll hear from our next sponsor over at the Rogue Shop. Folks, it's the husband and wife outfit, as you know. Mr. Rogue and his wife, Shar, are craft cannabis farmers who specialize in small batch sustainable plant medicine, a true holistic type of small business. They farm and grow everything themselves, do everything by hand. And their website to visit, folks, is rogueshop.com. That's ROGUE shop.com. They sell everything from CBD, THC, edibles, tinctures, smokables, bath salts, pain creams, topicals, vapes, candles, soaps, and more. Check out rogueshop.com if you have issues sleeping, chronic pain, and or have anxiety, stress issues. And you can use the promo code Blue and Gold for 10% off your order. Yeah, I mean, I've used their products before, folks, and not gonna lie, I like the Rogue Shop. It's good stuff. So just leave it at that. Check it out, rogueshop.com, if you're interested in that. All right, Tim. We are going to go through some various position battles. So Notre Dame wrapped up today. Let's see. It was fall camp practice number 7. And the first 3 were available to the media, and then number 5 and 6, but only the first practice was fully available to the media. So otherwise, it's just 5 periods of practice. So stretching, and then the most exciting thing they do is routes on air. So the media does not ever, unless it's a fully available practice, they don't ever get to see scrimmages or one-on-ones. And if they do get to see that, they're not allowed to film it. So very specific rules there. But yeah, Tim, Bosnian war criminal says Angeli looks great, TBH. I mean, I only wish we had somebody who's believed in him for years at this point. And let's just go right there. Position battle breakdown. We have several here before we get to a special guest in about 10 minutes, Tim. So we're going to have to breeze through these. Position battle number 1 we'll talk about here is the backup quarterback, Steve Angeli, Kenny Minchie. Tim, you said that this was the biggest one for you, biggest position battle for you. Kind of thoughts on this as you've seen some early reports, quickly as we, get through it to our next guest?
Yeah, and for those that, may not have listened before, I said it's the biggest position battle because of the unknown with Hartman only being here, for this season, of what's going to take place at that QB spot down the road. Is it another transfer, or are these guys confident enough to instill in the Freeman? We don't need anyone. We're going to win with these. CJ Carr comes in January. We got 3 quarterbacks. We're going to win next year with one of those 3. So, no, it's been nice to tons of film online to watch and see these guys and whatnot. So, they're doing good. It's like you're saying, wish we could see a few more things of them throwing, but the reports and Tyler's reports on Angeli have been positive, and it sounds like he's slowly taking over that number 2 spot.
I don't think it's slowly. I think it's pretty much done deal. I think Minchie is got a bright future ahead of him. But Angeli is Angeli's the
Yeah,
guy.
I will say the film. I mean, there's so much film online you could watch on YouTube. Man, he's a big kid. You know, I mean, he's a big dude. He looks good. I love his arm. So he's a good looking quarterback.
The thing is, he might be the number 2 guy, but the bigger question is what you always go back to, which we can't dive into now. But do they feel good enough about him for him to be the QB1 next year? You got Angeli, Minchie, Carr, or a transfer.
Me personally, I'd be stunned if Angeli's the quarterback in 2024, taking the snaps at College Station. That's just my opinion. So we'll see. But that's why this battle and that number 2, and does Hartman have to take a break for 30 seconds? Is Angeli going to actually get a throw a pass this year? He was in a few games last year, and all they did was let him hand off. I always found that fascinating last year. They wouldn't even let him throw a flat route for crying out loud. So
he wasn't in the. I mean, he just didn't.
Yeah, but I was
many opportunities.
No, I mean, he was a true freshman. Don't get me wrong; he was a true freshman. I get it. You know, the UNLV game was always the interesting one. Why they didn't let him throw? They were dominating that game. No, but I get it. I get it. So if he is the number 2 and he's solidified and he's got the confidence of Marcus Freeman to be the guy in 2024, then he's proved a heck of a lot this year. So that's good for him.
Yeah, number 2 running back Tim is next. I mean, Audric Estime is obviously number 1 guy. Who is it after him? And it seems like, although all the scholarship running backs you could actually see playing, Estime, Devin Ford, Jadarian Price, Jeremiah Love, Jabran Payne. Like, I think we could all see these guys on the field. It does seem like probably Devin Ford or Jadarian Price. From what I gather, it's probably Price, actually, Tim. He's looking really good, the rising sophomore.
No, and that's great news that he's back. You know, he worked his tail off in the offseason to, get rid of that injury, and he's healthy. His legs, he's back to where he was a year ago, where he was competing to be the number 1 as a true freshman. So if all the reports, the film, you see practice clips of him, he looks nice. He's a good looking running back. So, I think Estime is going to be the guy. I think he's going to be the workhorse. He's going to be this year's Kyron Williams. Feed him, because I think he's going to go pro after this year. There's no reason for him to come back as a senior. So let him dominate, go from there. And if Price is truly the number 2, man, he's good. He's a good football player. So no matter what, we talked about this, a couple nights ago. We were chatting about the running back room. It is, there's a lot of dudes. If Estime gets hurt, there's some dudes that you could definitely give the ball to this year and have confidence in them.
Moving over to the tight end spot, Tim. It seems wide open in a way.
Yeah.
Like Mitchell Evans doesn't seem like a clear number 1 tight end as much as Estime does at running back, for example. Like a sure thing. But from what I gather, Mitch Evans does look like the number 1 guy. Holden Stays, hearing pretty good things about him as well. What do you think about this tight end spot?
I was going to say that's been the biggie. Is obviously Bauman's been beat up. Tyler Horka's reporting on him, and he's been out this camp. So it's been Evans, but Evans has been dinged up a little bit from what it sounds like, and Stays has just been consistent. But you know what? We loved Holden Stays when he committed. When you and I talked about him and his recruit videos, which is interesting. We always talk about the hidden gems last year. You and I were always high on Stays and Morrison before they arrived in Notre Dame, of guys everyone forgot about, it seemed like. And Morrison shined last year, and this year Holden Stays he's definitely going to play a lot, because they're going to, he's going to be the number 2, and Notre Dame always plays 2 tight ends more often than not. So definitely exciting for him this year.
That 2022 class, I think I talked more about the Bergen kids. Remains to be seen on Angeli, but didn't work out with Jaden Bellamy. But can't be right all the time. I write here for this position battle breakdown, fairly open at wide receiver. There's a lot of talent, very unproven though, but the feeling is that it's Jaden Thomas, Chris Tyree, and Tobias Merriweather. Do you like that trio?
Yeah, exactly. When you say fairly open, I think it's shut. It
You do?
sounds like, unless there's an injury and something happens, I don't see anyone behind those three you mentioned
Okay.
taking over. I just don't. I don't.
Colsey?
No, I don't, because he hasn't done it in 2 years, and all of a sudden it's year three. Thomas had a full season. I mean, he was the guy last year. The guy who started, they trusted. Tyree, they moved because they want to get him on the field his senior season. And Tobias has had the hype. He was so close to breaking out last year, and then he got the concussion that kept him out the rest of the season. I mean, he's the guy that could be the Michael Floyd on that roster. Just the go-to guy, the scary guy. The D coordinators have to respect like crazy because he's so long and fast and athletic and jump and make all the big plays. So it sounds like it's going to be those three, and then it's Colsey. You keep hearing about, people don't want to hear it. You always hear about Matt Salerno somewhere making a play in practice.
If they go 4 or 5 wide, you're probably
it's one of those freshmen, and it's going to be which
Greathouse.
of the freshmen, which sounds like Greathouse, because
I've heard good things about Flores. James, people talk highly about.
But how do you get 5, 6, 7 receivers into a game? I don't think you do, because I think they'll play stays before they play some of those other guys. That's just my opinion. When you're reading the reports and hearing how things are going, do you do a second tight end before you do a second freshman? And I think Holden Stays is going to be ahead of Rico Flores somehow, some way.
Yeah, I just think in 2023, you try to play everyone because you do want everyone to be happy because guys can transfer out. Now, Salerno's a 7th, 8th year guy, so maybe you're not too worried about that, but point still stands. Okay, what will happen at guard, Tim? From left tackle, center, and right tackle, you're locked in with Alt, Carell, and Fisher. It looks like left guard is pretty good with Billy Strouth, which I think we're both glad to hear that. And then right guard, speaking of Strouth, you got a sophomore, the guy from Wisconsin. I just really, that was such a stressful recruitment to cover, but also loved it. Right guard, Kristofic versus Rocco Spindler. That's a guard play is not sexy, but especially at right guard, but that's a fun position battle to me.
Yeah, and I thought the big news in the last day or two that Tyler Horker reported was Kristofic's been repping as the number 2 tackle.
Let me interrupt. I've been told that that's just a lot of what they're doing early in camp.
It's like
a lot of guys, so exactly. I don't think it's like a foregone thing or Spindler starting at guard. So let's get Kristofic at tackle. I don't think it's that.
No, I agree. But when you watch a lot of the videos and you see so much stuff that's out there, and you just watch film, I'm always looking for O-line film, and it sure does look like number 50 is next to Fisher a ton recently. And I kind of like that they bumped Emil Wagner inside. He's so athletic. He's going to be one of the 5 next year. So the fact that they're repping him at left guard, is he the backup left tackle, left guard type of a guy this year? So I kind of like how they're doing that with Wagner. I loved Rocco after the spring game. I said it on our spring game show. I hope he's the starter because I really want to go into 2024 with him and Billy on the interior, because I fully expect Zeke I'm probably in the minority. I think Blake Fisher is going to go. So if you lose those 3, you got the 2 big guards inside, and I'm excited for Rocco. So the fact that he's coming alive and Coach Joe Rudolph had nothing but positives to say about his developments in spring has been awesome to hear and follow.
I did have this Nana versus Jean Baptiste. Wait, why am I not remembering his name? Javante John Baptiste. And I was talking to our beat guys about this, and they had mentioned this, but this seems kind of like it's Javante's job. Nana's going to play strong side DN, but Javante will be the guy.
Exactly. I was going to say the same thing. And rewatching a lot of film last year. Nana played a lot last year. Really good against the run. Not a great pass rusher, but really, really solid against the run. Plays physical. He just plays like his hair's on fire. So he's a real aggressive player. So, strong side end, solid. The Viper was looking good with Botello, and it's looking like they got their big 4 on the inside. They're going to rotate like a hockey game this year.
And then last, and this isn't There might be one or two other battles that maybe we're not thinking of, but this is kind of like the notable ones for us.
Mhm.
The nickel spot, Clarence Lewis and Thomas Harper. It looks pretty likely. You had Ben Morrison and Cam Hart starting, yeah,
Yeah.
as your two cornerbacks. Mickey, I thought was going to be a nickel,
Yeah.
but no, he's battling he's not battling. He's going to play outside corner, so he's
Mhm.
going to rotate in a little bit. Now, in terms of nickel, it's gonna be one of these two guys. It looks like now they're all going to play, but in terms of like who's that primary guy, one of these two guys. What do you think about this, Tim?
No, exactly. I mean, you said a great point right there. Who they're all going to play, and Lewis played a lot of nickel last year, especially at the end of the season. So, experience. He's been a starter, obviously. For 2 seasons as well at corner. Harper. They went out and got him for this role. This is what he played in the Oklahoma State defense over the years. So it's two good football players, two experienced football players. So, Tariq Bracy had a heck of a season last year, one of the best players on defense. But now you're replacing them with two very experienced upperclassmen. So you can't go wrong. And you're right, Mike. It's going to be both of them going to be rotating, and who's ever healthy is going to be playing.
Okay. All right. Well, that wraps up our position battles. I was just texting with our
Oh, yeah.
guest, and it does look like he's going to join soon, but he hasn't come on just yet. So, Tim, while we wait, I figured let's just banter a little bit about this. The Vegas line for Notre Dame and Navy, it's at 19 points. It opened at 17. It's at
Okay.
19 right now. What do you think about that? Because it seems like a low number to me.
I was going to say the same. Yeah. It's obviously whatever happened. I'm a big believer in whatever happened last year, you throw away. So I know Navy did the big comeback in the second half. That's one game. It's one game. So
Pause.
what are you going to say?
Pause. Did you just say whatever happened last year, throw away? Tim, you're the guy who throws out the most random stats about your predictions. Your score predictions will be, what Notre Dame did against Navy in 1947. They won by 6 points. And then in 52, they won by 4. So I'm going to add those together and say Notre Dame by 10.
I have done that yeah. Those are score predictions. Those are score predictions, Mike. But I'm talking about the scheme and things of that nature. So, the score and whatever plays happen one year, you don't always carry it on. But sometimes history does repeat itself. Yes, Mike, you're correct with that. But I would be 19. See, I can't give my score prediction. I kind of actually started to think about this week. I think Notre Dame is going to come out slinging. I'm a firm believer when you play Navy, you got to go aerial assault because you got better athletes on the perimeter. You got to throw early, get up early, get a couple touchdown lead, and then get the heck out of there nice and safe and healthy. So I'm expecting a 5-touchdown game from Sam Hartman. So I would definitely bet Notre Dame and those points right now. But
Yeah, I
that's
think
just
so
me.
too.
Yeah, I do. I think they're going to chuck it all over the place. I've gone on record. Navy, Tennessee State, Central Michigan. I'm expecting 15 touchdowns from Hartman in those 3 games.
Is this true? Running
Those-
clocks on first downs this year?
It's yeah. I mean, it's probably only going to take some of the studies I've read. It's only going to be a couple minutes. It's not going to be crazy. It's once the ball's set, the clock's going to get going and things of that nature. It's almost they're doing some of the NFL stuff now, where the clock's moving. Once it's set, it's rolling, things of that nature. It's not going to be.
College does. If you get a first down, the clock stops. Once the ball's set, it rolls.
But now it's going NFL. It's going to take a couple minutes. The goal is to shave off a couple minutes, obviously, because so many games lately have been rolling into it's all TV, Mike. It's all anyone cares about. So it's going to the NFL formula.
Okay. All right, Tim. Well, I want to transition real quick into talking about this. Just talk a little bit of recruiting.
Okay.
How good is Cam Williams as a prospect from Glen Ellen, Illinois, Glenbard South? I mean, I just want to throw out On3 hasn't ranked the highest. So Cam, if you're watching this somewhere, I just want to let you know that On3 does have you ranked the highest. Maybe it's not your quarterback, but at least Cam, at least we got it right on one of them. What do you think about this prospect, Tim? You excited about this? Give me 60 seconds.
Oh, without a doubt, excited about it. Especially last week when someone on the message board, posted that that graphic. He was one of the 10 fastest players on a recorded last year, I think, with 20 some odd miles an hour. So obviously getting a great young man down the road there out of the Chicago region. So no, it's exciting for him to come. I mean, you've talked about this a lot, Mike, where you get a great quarterback and an elite receiver coming in the same class. It's a great combination to have for 2024. So very excited to have Cam Williams coming aboard.
I mean, I think the combo of Mike Singer and Tim Hyde is a great one. But what about the trio of us and Cam Williams?
What's up?
I had to gas my boy up a little bit and hype you up before you join the show. Appreciate you. How you doing, man?
Good. Sorry about that. I was trying to email myself the link and it wasn't working. So
no. Hey,
but yeah, I'm here now though.
You're right on time, man. How was the golf course today, man? What'd you shoot?
It was good. I shot so the course I go at, it's a 35 part, not 36. So I shot a 45 today though.
Okay.
Yeah. Golfer.
And birdied the last hole too. So
okay. Okay. I've been trying to get Cam on the show since May.
Yeah.
And he's always golfing on Wednesdays. So get all your golfing in while you can, because during the football season, I'm sure you're not. Yeah. When does camp start for you guys?
On Monday.
Okay. Well, I'm guessing you're not going to get to golf much this fall.
No.
Okay. I did want to. Okay. So when I just mentioned I wanted to get you on the show in May because you attended the On3 event, which I don't remember what it was called. On3 NIL 100 or
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, On3 sent out invites for top recruits in the 2024 class to attend and just learn about NIL. Livy Dunn was a speaker, the LSU gymnast, and Kirk Herbstreit was there as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious. For me, like I don't know what went on that event other than what I've seen on social media. So I really wanted to just talk with you about it. So what was it? What was that all about?
I guess their whole point was like, obviously guys who are highly looked at in the class to kind of just come out and I guess kind of give them the basis of what this whole NIL thing is going on now. And I don't know how educated other dudes were, but I mean, what I got from it was kind of the same stuff a lot of people tell you. I mean, you learn like what you might want to go into when you're signing things. Obviously, don't sign everything you see. Kind of like the basic stuff. And they had like speakers there of like different. Like obviously, Kirk was there, Livy was there, but of like different companies. We had like some guy who works for Mizuno. He was like a high end in the company. It was more interesting just with the speakers because the speakers were kind of just giving us advice because they worked in like the business world, and I think it was also just another thing to maybe get guys out and around each other. But it was pretty cool though.
I heard I was talking to somebody, Cam.
Yeah.
That you were like, I can't remember what he said because this is months ago now. That you were like the guy, like kids just gravitated towards you. I mean, people just love talking to Cam Williams.
I talking to a lot of I was talking to I made a couple friends there. Obviously most guys there have been on a bunch of visits together or some are committed together. And I think I was like one of the only guys because I committed like early, so like all those visits like I didn't do those. Who kind of didn't really know anyone, but I mean I ended up talking with a lot of like players and adults and stuff to kind of just getting to know some people, which is always good in this world. I feel like recruitment. So
yeah. So for folks watching on YouTube, obviously we're watching Cam's junior tape. Tim, I know you wanted to ask Cam about senior season coming up.
Yeah, Cam, thanks for coming on. I just wanted to talk about obviously your seasons, your senior season coming up, the off season, and more importantly, what is what's coach looking to do with you this year? Any new wrinkles for you as you get ready to blast off into your senior season here?
Yeah, so half of these highlights here will be at free safety. So gotta play free safety this year. But it's been fun playing it this summer though. So I got no issue doing that. And you gotta do what you gotta do to win. Because I think this year we might have, and I could be wrong, no more than like 10 seniors. My class is small, and I think we might have 4 guys from last year returning. like starting wise. So real young team, real small team, but we always seem to like get the job done. And other than that, yeah, I'll just be like on the field most of the game, which I'm not used to. So it'll be good conditioning though. So
Love that.
Tim, do you
Yeah.
have anything else for Cam?
No, I mean, you're talking about, obviously, your senior season and, getting ready for that. Are they trying you out any other positions on offense? Since you're saying you're so young, is the offense basically going to be built around you to give you the ball every other play, you feel?
yeah, so we kind of know based on like last year how teams are gonna play,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's like bracketing me or just looking at me the entire freaking play. So we have a bunch of new wrinkles this year. We added some last year, kind of just some motions like have me like moving everywhere, so they can't just key me on like one single spot. So I'll be out there on the outside. I might come in as a 3 or the 2 sometimes. I might end up as the number 1 on that side. It's just me moving everywhere. And I'm pretty sure as time goes on, they talk about having me in the backfield. So it's just any way to make sure no one's keen on me the whole time.
So little Cam Williams is the Wildcat quarterback this year, running around having fun.
That would be so fun. I'm gonna ask him about that one.
There you go.
That would be fun.
I'm scrolling up in our text, Cam, because I know I asked you this. It was sometime in May. I asked you who the fastest guy in your class was of the Notre Dame commits, and you said a couple of guys, and you didn't mention yourself. Very humble, Cam Williams. But what's that?
I mean, maybe I'm up there, but yeah, I said. See, what I heard from Chad was that, and I haven't seen it, that Logan Thomas is an absolute freak athlete, which I believe it.
Yeah, and you mentioned someone else, but then I started asking people.
Okay, yeah.
Let's just say these people might know things.
Okay.
They said you.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I know Carson. I said Carson too, I think.
Carson's fast.
His 4x2 team was like really, really good. And like, I mean, he can't be slow running a really good 4x2 team. So yeah, I really don't know, to be honest.
Would you run the 100 at your high school? Like, are you a track guy? Like you focus on it a lot during the spring?
No.
So you don't even run track?
I run faster. I feel like I run faster with all those pads on the turf than I do with no pads on the whatever tar rubber that thing is. I don't know. When I'm in track, I just feel like I'm not moving like I do on the field.
I love that. I do like that. But if you do get to the combine, you have to practice a lot.
Yeah.
Practice a lot.
Yeah, it's a start because my top speed's good, but every race you watch from me, I'm like the last dude coming out the blocks. I'm not gonna lie, but then I feel like I start pretty good in my stance. So I don't know. I think it's just that whole thing is weird to me.
It's like the longest highlight tape I've ever seen. I keep checking. I'm like, is it about to end? No,
there's a lot. There's a lot going on, man.
I mean, dude, I was sure. I mean, I text you almost every week checking in with your stats and stuff last year, and you had some huge games. So 9-minute highlight tape. I mean, if you got a 9-minute highlight tape, you got to flex what you got. I mean, this is.
We're going for this year. I know I'm definitely close to. There's a couple. I forgot which ones. There's a couple all time. It might be yards or touchdowns that I'm close to.
Is that what school record?
Yeah, and then I think I broke the single season, regular season yards last year, or it was either that or I was literally like 5 yards away. I forgot how they looked at it. So I don't know, but this year's big for a lot of that stuff though. So.
Okay. I want to talk about Sunday because you're just at South Bend for, I think, Matt Freeman at ISD tweeted your 412th time. I counted 411, 411 times. But seriously, like, you've done so many visits. This trip Sunday for the Grill and Chill, which is the corniest little term, but it sums up what you guys do, right? You literally did grill and you did chill, right?
Yeah.
So have you ever done a visit like the Grill and Chill? Even the Grill and Chill last year or the year before, I feel like it was different, right?
Because last year the actual players were at the grill. Excuse me, and they had like a rewards day or something. I think it might have been like the week when they checked in or right before they had check-in. I don't know, whatever it was. And they were there with us. But this year it was totally different. Like, we were walking around the campus. We had, like, trivia games throughout the whole thing. Like, it sounds like it wasn't fun, but it was fun. And then we go in the stadium, and we start playing dodgeball in the stadium. And then I wouldn't think I'd just be standing in the middle of the 50 playing dodgeball or something. But and then we had the grill. My team did not win that, unfortunately. But I thought we had the best one though. But
So it was your team was what? You, CJ, Talon Taylor,
yeah, I had
and then Jerome Bettis,
Jerome, and I had Styles.
Prescott. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get to know some new guy? I mean, like CJ, you know, all the time. He's up in Chicago all the time. But
Yeah, I 25 receiver from Connecticut, Ethan, I believe, right?
Ethan Long, safety, yeah.
Yeah, so I talked with his family a lot.
Okay.
And he's a good kid. Definitely looks the part. I mean, bro's bigger than me. And I talked to obviously Taylor a lot. I mean, just from him being in the region, I
Right.
knew him prior and stuff, and obviously Jerome. So really, just being around the receiver group, and looking at those three, I'm like, I mean, that'd be great to have all three of them. So, and I think it really is cool, just kind of what Stuckey, these guys that Stuckey's kind of looking at and bringing in and giving attention to. We're excited to see what he can do, just beyond my class as well. So.
We're all pretty excited about Stuckey because the receivers coach before Stuckey at Notre Dame, I like them, but just Stuckey's the opposite. Like, just so much more energy, just a lot more swag. Like, does Stuckey? I mean, I know what your answer is going to be, but does Stuckey does he deserve the hype he gets? Like, is he like a really good recruiter? Because Cam Williams, folks, grew up a fan of which school?
Go Blue. Right?
Yeah, Michigan.
Yeah.
And he had an offer from Michigan, and people predicted him to go to Michigan, but he went to Notre Dame, or he's going to Notre Dame. And Stuckey had a big part to do with that.
Oh, yeah. I think just kind of his vibe and demeanor was a lot different than other dudes I was around. I don't mean to say dudes, coaches I was around. And he was just, he goes about things way differently that it just kind of hit me differently as well. So.
Yeah. Tim, do you have anything else for Cam before we let him go?
Yeah, I mean, just talking about recruiting in Chicago there, do you obviously, the class of 25 is stacked. Notre Dame is recruiting the living heck out of Chicago. I mean, it looks like they can sign 10 guys if they want. So have you chatted with those guys? Is the staff saying, hey, contact them, or are they just letting you do your thing, but knowing when you come to campus, you're gonna see some 2025 Chicago guys?
Yeah, no, obviously I saw a few this past weekend, and I think they'll tell, especially me, to hit those guys up probably when they cancel. Is that September 1st?
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure once around that time, where like the contact period's like the more legit for those guys, we'll be all over them. Because I mean, I said in an interview on my way home, like, I think just maybe Illinois in general, but definitely the Chicagoland area just needs to be like seen more, and I think that's finally starting to happen, which is good. So
2024 in Illinois is really good.
Those
really good players.
My class is good, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
2025 looks just as good, maybe if not. Like 24 is very, very top heavy.
Yeah,
I feel like with Lightfoot, you, Scott. I'm sure there's a couple others I'm forgetting. Oh, I just mentioned Justin Scott. I don't know if you want. I don't know how salty you are about that, Cam, but we don't have to talk about it if we don't.
No bad blood needed. It's okay.
But yeah, it's really good. It's really good these past couple years. I hope I hope it continues. Well,
I think it'll stay that way.
Yeah. So you get into Notre Dame for, I'm guessing, most games this fall, unless you have a Saturday game.
Yeah, we might hit about like 420, 421, somewhere around there. No, yeah, I'll probably be there for about most of the home games.
Okay.
They actually have a decision to make. I think the Ohio State game, because it's at night.
Homecoming.
Yeah, it's the day of homecoming.
Oh, homecoming! Wow.
But like, I might have to do the OSU game. I'm not gonna. That's a once in a lifetime opportunity,
So senior homecoming though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I've been covering recruiting for 10 years. That what you're saying, I've heard so many times. The kids just don't know what to pick. And
But
I feel
I
like
think it's like homecoming's a lot more like low key because I'm gonna be able to come back for prom. So like,
that's when you're prom king. You'd rather be prom king than homecoming king, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah. So Cam Williams, prom king. You heard it here first.
there we go. Because when
Yeah,
we
clip
win,
this, put it on social media when you're running for prom king. Mike Singer already said it, so it's
so
it's just what it is at
I
this
had
point.
to, because I think when we win and I run on the field, it'll be a lot better than the mosh pit back at school. So
There you go.
Yeah, that's my way of thinking about it.
All right, well, folks, that's Cam Williams, 2024 wide receiver commit for the Fighting Irish. Someone who I think is a 5. I don't want to say if he's going to end up a 5-star because I have no idea, but I mean, this guy is top 51 nationally, according to all 4 websites. I mean, this is a big time kid, and Notre Dame wide receiver recruiting is definitely on the uptick, and a lot of that is thanks to Cam Williams' commitment. And yeah, appreciate you joining the show, Cam. We'll have to have you on again. This is your second time on the show, so we'll make sure that we make it a third here soon, man.
That works. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks. Have a good one, man.
All right, have a good one.
You got it.
That was awesome. Cam Williams, like, it's crazy, right? Like, that was just three guys hanging out. He's what, 17, 18? I'm 29. Yeah. Tim, you're what, 35?
Yeah, I could be 30.
And it's just, he's so mature.
No, I mean, even the first time, when he was on, we had a great conversation. Yeah, he's just so casual, so chill. It's just great. And yeah, I mean, I thought real quick if we had him on for an extra minute because the offers went out. You know how Notre Dame does that.
Offers,
yeah. I just thought of that real quick. Just wanted to hear his because that's gotta be cool. I mean, even though he's been committed and all that, but to get that in the mail, to be official, like it's starting to hit home. And that's he's going into his senior year. That's why I wanted to ask him about his senior season. It's a great senior season. I mean, you remember your senior year, so and now here he is talking about homecoming or Ohio State. Good luck with that one. So does he tell his girl
he's going to Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Prom kids do.
I will say exactly. Great point with that, Mike. Prom king over homecoming king. Prom's a big deal. Prom's a big deal.
Yeah. But he's an early enrollee, but he's in Chicago, so I'm pretty sure he's an early enrollee. I'm like 90% sure, but he'll just go back home for prom. That's what the kids do. So
really
Tom DeMay says he seems like an old head, and I think that's a compliment. A couple super chats, and then we're signing off. Fashawn AL Flip says Under Armour needs to get us air-conditioned helmets like LSU has. This is the first I'm hearing of that. That's awesome. LSU has air-conditioned helmets.
Yeah, I saw something like that on online, and but Under Armour doesn't make helmets, so I mean, exactly.
Well, what are we talking about here?
I don't know. It's but I see what he's saying. It's like, hey, you're giving Notre Dame so much money, go get air conditioning helmets. I get it. Yeah, LSU has something like that. So
do appreciate the $5. William drops the $10. Really appreciate that. He says, "Hey guys, thank you for all the hard work." Well, thank you for the super chat. Mr. Hyde, going into 2024, do you think Notre Dame has a top 5 wide receiver class in the country after the 23 haul plus these 24 studs? Did Notre Dame turn the corner at skill position? So I think this is a kind of a two-parter with the 24 receivers and then these Notre Dame turning the corner at the skill spot.
If you take the two classes combined, you got a good group of 7 wide receivers right there. So to replenish that are going to be playing a ton. Exactly. Is it a top 25 in 2024? Well, obviously, I mean, we talked about this when the California guy committed. You got an elite go-to guy in Cam Williams. You got your mid-range 4-star blue chip in Micah Gilbert, good football player. Is he a game changer like Cam Williams? I don't see that on film, but good outside receiver. And then you got Saldante? Is it Saldante out of Northern Cal? He's going to grow into, he's going to be a good slot receiver, super fast kid, super athletic, but he's going to be a developmental. We'll see what happens there. He's not going to be a ready-made guy that comes in. So not knowing what some of the other classes, I don't think this is a top 5 in receiver class, but complementary class to go on with 23. You're looking at 2 classes. Once again, I like to look at recruiting 2 classes, which means 25 wide receiver needs to have some heavyweights to round out 2024 when you look at 24-25 as a 2-year cycle.
Now, we're just doing this off the top of our head,
Sure.
but I feel like if you combine 23 and 24 and you do a 2-year look
Yeah.
compared to everyone else, I feel like it's like top 10. It's got to be top 10 in the country,
Sure.
right?
Oh,
That
without a
group
doubt,
is
because you know
7.
you got Great House and Cam are some studs. You got Rico Flores, who's an outstanding, solid fundamental football player out of Folsom, without a doubt there. You got Braylon James, who is just sky's the limit. Braylon James is like a combination of Cam and Tobias Merriweather. When you look at his skill, his speed, his athleticism, he's just a green tomato. They got to ripen up a bunch, is what they got to do. So super fast. I mean, when you talk about fast guys, you got Braylon, Cam, those are some dudes that can fly. And then you have your 3-star, guys. You got, Caleb Smith out of, away from Texas Tech. You got Saldante away from Oregon State. 2 of the same type of players from a middle of the road Power 5 programs that you like to develop, see where they're at as a junior down the road. So 23-24, when you look at it like that, Mike, yeah, it's a good haul.
Do you think Notre Dame has turned the corner at skill position recruiting, Tim?
For me, hey, people are going to hate this, but we'll see. I mean, can Cam be that guy? It's for me. I'm just one of those guys. You're going to turn the corner when you could dump the ball to somebody and that dude is going to make a move and go. I always go back to Devontae Smith in the playoff game. Throws a bubble and he outran everybody on a bubble. And he just out-leveraged everybody going down the sideline. He catches a slant, out-leverages everybody. Until Notre Dame gets a guy that could do that, to me, that's when you turn the corner. When you're just like, that dude could catch a bubble and go 70. I don't know if Notre Dame has a guy like that yet. That's just my opinion in watching these guys. Good football players, really good wide receivers compared to, you broke it down great last week, Mike, talking about from 18, 19, 20. It's been dreadful. So they are turning the corner compared to where they've been the last 3-4 years, without a doubt.
Okay. All right. Well, that wraps up the show right there, Tim. I appreciate it. We did say we're sticking with Wednesday nights during the season, right? We're here Wednesday night. This is it.
Yeah. Wednesday, we got to have our post-game show, or Wednesday night show, or Friday
afternoon pregame video.
Yeah. It's almost here, Mike. We got, geez, speaking of that, we're going to prep for that. Navy's in just a couple of weeks. So,
yeah. So how many more shows do we have before the game?
Speaking of Navy, isn't that we're going to have cake, right, that day? Cake and ice cream? I thought Navy was your birthday.
Oh, yeah, big 3-0.
Oh, there you go. See a little cake and ice cream afterwards. There we go.
So, okay, we have 3 more shows. So,
okay.
Yeah, we're moving our recruiting show to Thursday morning-ish.
Oh,
because I can't do Friday afternoon anymore because I'm traveling, and
you're all right.
We have a little bit of an announcement on the recruiting show, just a little personnel update, and you guys will see it. We're going to implement that change of time game week. And then we'll have the Goolsby show Sunday. I mean, I'm really excited about our YouTube lineup during the season. We'll have 4 live shows during the week. I'm still tinkering with a 5th potentially, something with Horka, but it's just tough. It's tough to find like time for that to work when you got all the press conferences and traveling. It can be a little tricky. And then we got our magazine.
Don't you do a show with Tyler when he breaks down one of the press conferences during the week?
Yeah, but dude, Tyler's good. Tyler needs his own live shows, what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Which we can incorporate him more on here, but
I love when Tyler's on. I
like when Tyler's on too, but Tyler could also, like me and Tyler could just shoot the shit for an hour, just like me and you do. And it's more the kind of the reporter, the beat guy, rather than me and you just kind of reacting and you breaking down ball and me doing what I do. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Horka, Jack Sobel's done a really nice job in those post-practice reports too. So we'll continue to do those like post-Marcus Schumann press conference videos, and then just stuff all the time. Darren Pritchett, my videos with him, I love doing those. So I don't know. I'm pretty biased, but I think we have the best YouTube channel out ever. So
Darren's got a great radio voice, so just let him know.
he's great.
He does.
All right, Kevin, I think this is where we sign this off. He says, Mike, no excuses. You could use a good workout schedule. I mean, I'm paying for the gym. Can't tell you the last time I've been. But yeah, so.
I know you have been, because there was one time we were supposed to do something. You're like, Tim, move it back 30 minutes. I'm leaving the gym. That could have been 6 months ago, but
Yeah, no, that was in 2019 or 2020 or something. But yeah.
I do.
All right. Seriously, folks, really do appreciate you guys watching and listening. Hit that thumbs up. Leave a nice review if you're listening via podcast. Head over to blueandgold.com for more coverage. And as always, folks, we will catch you next time.